It's okay. All right. We'll get this thing started here in just a little bit. We're gonna wait for the ads to finish right up front. You know what I mean? Let those finish and do their thing. And then we'll get into the stream. Just wait for those pesky ads, right? See you in a few. Ads. Yikes. The music, it's pumping, it's kicking, right? I have this playlist going because normally it's pretty mellow, right? It starts off with kind of, lo-fi vibes, if you will. So, it's nice to jump into, but apparently stream music doesn't want to wait, wants to be pumped. Centurion, thank you for the lurk, my friend. Absolutely. We're doing the lurk each other thing right now. It's pretty cool. Anyways, you know what else is cool? Is that pop-up that just came up on my screen about my brother printer and how I can buy supplies from them online. Thank you. Thank you, brotherprinter.com. Not sponsored. Anyways, tonight, it's going to be really cool. So we're going to be reading again, because that's what we do here. I have some new things on the channel, since we're waiting for people to roll in. Let's get into the little techie stuff, shall we? We shall. I got a new bot working on the Twitch side of the house that hopefully adds a little extra element, so if somebody lurks or whatever, it'll do a thing. And it looks like it did here with Centurion when he lurked. So sweet. Looks like it's all up and working. Yeah, that's what you like to see. First time configuration. It works smooth. That's how we do it here. Quick reminder, we're going to be reading tonight, and we'll get into that in just a second. But we have a couple commands on the channel that we built, and now they're working on YouTube. So if you're joining us from YouTube, hi, you have interactions now as well. You can do the exclamation point flub command. You just type that in the chat, and it gives me one counter for those flubs that are inevitably going to happen. Inevitably. See, there's a flub right there. Good thing we're not reading yet. Some people like to turn that into a drinking game, and they take a drink of their beverage. Could be hot cocoa, could be a whiskey, which we'll get to tonight. What are you drinking? But drink responsibly, because it happens a lot on this stream, so get used to it. Get used to it. One step closer, I think, to setting up live audiobook narration, like for realsies, that I'm going to be recording, and doing the whole live flubbing and re-recording and redoing the things and the thingamajiggers on the thing. I did a test run this weekend for a little bit, and I think I have it worked out. So there's a little bit of clunkiness in there, but I think I can get past it. I think it'll be okay. So it'll be all right. I think we're almost ready. So whenever I get ready to actually do the thing, I'll let you guys know. And, we'll announce on the socials and the things as we do about when that's coming. I had a really kind of an interesting day today. As the work was busy, had a lot of death by meetings, but I got to enjoy some narration from a fellow narrator that joins us sometimes. His name is Steve Coronin. He's doing a lit RPG series, and he's doing like a live narration thing on Clubhouse, so people can come in there and listen to him narrate. And I like doing a lot of that. We kind of talked about that, I think, a little bit last stream or the one before, about if you're a narrator, voice actor, that like listening to other people, in the middle of performing their craft is super educational. So I love listening to that stuff. I'm trying to do more research on lit RPG because it might be something that I want to dive into. Maybe I'll create myself a little demo here going into this year and refresh my demos, and maybe that'll be one that I throw up there because it sounds kind of interesting to me. So as part of doing research, the fun part of doing research is listening to audiobooks, at least for me. So I've been listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl, that series by Matt, I think it's Dinneman? It's over here. Yeah, Dinneman, and narrated by Jeff Hayes. Fantastic. It's kind of a full crew, if you will, like a full cast, where they'll do different voices for each character, but those different voices are actually different, for the most part, different voice actors doing those lines. Sometimes it's the same couple people doing them, but it's really, really good. It's really funny. Great introduction to lit RPG, I think. Was recommended off of a lit RPG kind of Facebook group, and I'm enjoying it. I'm actually on the second one. I'm almost done with the second one in the series. Carl's Doomsday scenario is the second one, and I've got like an hour left. So kind of have this like routine. We're all going a walk at right around 8 p.m.-ish at night. And I'll go out for about an hour, a little over an hour, and I'll listen to my audiobook while I'm walking, get some exercise in and get some research in. Make use of that time, right? Be efficient with it. And then by the time I get back in, everybody's done with the bathroom, which is right next door to the room that I record in. So there's not going to be any noise or interruptions, and we can just jump right back into narrating, right? So it works out. But I think I'm going to switch up the series. There's plenty more books after this one, but I want to jump into a different one just to experience more of the genre and really get a feel for it, and get kind of a flavor of how other narrations are done, right? So I'll probably be jumping back into that. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Leave them in the comments below if you're watching on the YouTubes or after the fact or whatever, or if you're watching on Twitch, just let me know what you would recommend if you have a favorite lit RPG series, and I'll check it out. So I'm gonna dive into that, and it's been really cool listening to Steve Corona kind of do narration on that too, because I'm hearing a little bit different style where a single person is narrating every character as traditionally is done, right? At least in my experience with audiobooks. Most audiobooks are done that way, right? Anyways, what are we drinking tonight? Because that is important, isn't it? It is important. So what are we drinking tonight? All month until we run out. Maybe. We'll see. We're drinking. Boom! Bringing in that new year with a bang. Ammunition. That's right. Straight bourbon whiskey. Finished in Cabernet Sauvignon barrels. Fancy, fancy. Let's give it the pop and the pour. Let's do it. Let's do it. Boom. Boom. Give it the pour. It's Whiskey Wednesday, folks. Oh, yeah. That's a healthy pour. Again, a little more than I meant. So it's going to be a good night. Furthermore, it's going to be a good night because of what we're reading. Let's get to that, shall we? Let's take a drink. Sit back, relax, sip on your favorite beverage as we get started here. What are you drinking tonight? What's your favorite drink? What's bringing in the new year for you still? That is so good. I picked it up, honestly, because of the name. And it's fantastic. I've gotten really lucky on the channel so far on our Whiskey Wednesdays. I've come across some really nice bourbons and whiskeys. So maybe we'll do a scotch. I have an idea, too, for mixing it up on our Whiskey Wednesdays. We'll do a thing called a mix bottle. I'm sure there's another name for it, but I'll pull that out next stream, and we'll talk about it. I think it'll be kind of interesting. Anyways, this stream. What are we reading? What are we reading? We're reading this. If you're looking down here at the bottom of the screen, it's called Shattered Lives by Vineet Verma. And it's a psychological thriller, and it starts off with a bang. We're going to be going through the prologue and a little bit of that first chapter, I'm assuming, unless that's part of the prologue. It's split up. Look, it looks like the first chapter. It's enough. It'll get you hooked. It'll get you interested. You'll want to read more. And if you want to buy the book, there's a link down below how you do that. Really clever, actually, from this author. That link, if you go there, for books2read.com and that little link there, it has every single place that you can purchase the book in every format that you would want, right? Like the paperback from like Amazon, or you want the digital, or you want to buy it from Apple. There's all the links are on there. It's really, really cool. I haven't seen that yet. It's probably really common, right? But I haven't seen it yet, which doesn't mean anything. And I thought it was really cool. So if there's any of you author types out there and you're looking for a good way to advertise, hey, here's all the ways that you can buy my book, that's a really good way to do it, right? I mean, obviously your website too, right? Go to my website. It's all on there. But I thought this was really cool. It's like a really short URL too, really consumable. So anyways, there you go. That's a little bit about the author on there. Also, a fellow daytime IT worker. Salute, sir. There you go. IT, I had to ask. So I don't know if you want me to share that much about it, so I'll keep that to myself. But hello, fellow IT worker, and pretty darn good writer there. Darn tootin' is what I wanted to say, but I was trying to work that in. Anyways, that's what we're going to be reading tonight. And it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So sit back, get in the mood, get ready for some thriller, right? Psychological thriller, at least the intro to it. I forgot to do the trigger warning on there, but there is a little talk of some unaliving yourself. So if that's something you definitely don't want to hear, here's your warning. Tune out now if that's not your cup of tea. It's not really grotesque or anything over the top, but it does mention it, and it's if you don't gravitate towards that type of thing because you've had a personal bad experience, and that is a trigger for you, please leave before we get into that part, because it hits us right up front. So just putting that out there. However, if that's not a trigger for you and you want to stick around, it's fantastic. I can't wait to get into it. It's going to be good. This is going to be a good stream. We'll talk too when I come back to sit down here about some things that are on my mind and where I think I want to take the channel, and some more days that we need to stream, gosh darn it, because one day a week, it isn't enough. Am I right? You want more content, and I'm here to give you more. I don't know. I've got nothing. But I think we do need to stream more, because there's more things that I kind of want to bring and stream and show you guys. And I've been thinking about maybe simulcasting in vertical format on either Instagram or maybe TikTok, since it's back up, but for how long? And I started the TikTok thing and I didn't put a lot of effort into it, because who knows how long it's going to stick around, right? So that's the thing. Anyways, I'm rambling. We should probably get into the darn narration.
God, are you still talking?
Yes, I'm still talking. But I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to talk more, but I'm just going to read. Still talking now. You know what I mean. Let's go to the booth and get this reading started, shall we? We shall. Was that delayed? It sounded like the sound effect played way after. Way after. As I'm attacked by my booth. All right. Settle down now. Settle down now. Settle down now. All right, let's turn that music down, shall we? Shall we? We shall. All right, let's get ourselves situated. A lot of good progress this week on my narration, on my book that I'm working on, The Second Bride by Kurt Dyer. That'll be coming out here fairly soon. You're probably going to see it next month, I would think. Just depends on how quickly the editing company that I'm now working with gets around to it, if it gets approved by the author. And, Audible does their own little checks. So however quickly that goes through, right, it kind of determines when that's going to be out. But I'm assuming probably next month. Probably right around the time that the first book that I narrated last year is going to show up. And that one is I'll talk about it probably more later, if I remember. What's going on here? There we go. It's a 20-hour long first part of a series as well, sci-fi space opera. So that one's really cool. That one was a lot of fun to work on. It's kind of my learning book, but we'll talk about that later, because now it's time to read this fantastic tale called Shattered Lives, our psychological thriller. So let's get into it. Also, if you hear the noise, the Old Spice jingle, that means that we have an ad break coming up. I'll pause so that those of you on Twitch don't miss out from that ad break that we have to take. And those of you on YouTube, hey, we'll just talk for a little bit, okay? That's the advantage of being on YouTube. We get to have a conversation without those pesky Twitch people, right? Don't tell them. They're pesky. Anyways, let's get into the story, shall we? Here we go. Let's get out that flub counter. Let's give us one to start with. Make sure that actually came across. On both? Did it not? I don't think it came across on YouTube. Bummer, man. You can activate the command, but it's not telling you that I did when I do it. I'll have to check on that later. Anyways, to the story, shall we? Prologue. Something horrendous is coming my way. I sensed it the moment I woke this morning. The same feeling I had the day my mom died. My chest feels heavy and a piercing headache is gathering strength. I've tried to ignore the unease all day, but the sense of foreboding reaches a crescendo as I continue knocking on Annie's door. Where the hell is she? When I spoke to her yesterday, she assured me she would be home today. I called her once again, but no luck. A flurry of texts, no response. My breathing quickens, my stomach churns. I fear the worst. A final series of knocks. Nothing. I wait 10 seconds, my heart sinking further with every tick. Frantic, I fish out the key she gave me a while back after I insisted, only to be used in emergencies. I struggled to steady my trembling hands and fit the key in the slot, but once I do, it turns without a hitch and the door opens. I smell pizza. Fresh. I step inside and glance towards the kitchen. The box on the countertop confirms what my nose already told me. So she must be home, or must have been at some point, to have ordered her favorite meal. Not something she would have done if she planned on ending things. My disquiet eases a bit, but not entirely. It's eerily quiet, with no one in sight. I want to call out to her, but my throat has gone dry and words refuse to emerge. I hustle around the apartment, desperately hoping to discover her alive and well. Perhaps I'll find her huddled in a corner, engrossed in a thriller novel, oblivious to the world around her. The kitchen, the bedroom, even the closets, she's nowhere to be found. Maybe that's a good sign, I try to convince myself, but it's a futile effort. There's only one place I haven't looked, so I hurry towards the bathroom. It's only a short distance from where I'm standing, but in my agitated state, it seems like I'm running a marathon. The door is open a crack with a sliver of light streaming through. A strong lavender scent hits me along with a hint of bleach even before I enter. I push the door open wide. The first thing I see is the bathtub filled to the brim with water. I step closer and lay eyes on the naked, still body underneath the surface. My heart's hammering inside my chest now. I rush to her, hoping I'm not too late. No, no, no! I finally found my voice. My hands shake as I make a clumsy effort to unplug the drain and pull her head out of the water. Water splashes out of the tub, spilling on my jeans and shoes. Glug, glug, glug. The water starts draining. She's not breathing, no pulse either. I'm panicking now, though I can't afford to. I take in a few deep breaths, trying to suppress the urge to throw up. Maybe I can still revive her. I try to drag her out, but she's heavy. Before I can make another attempt, I realize I should call 911 first, so I dial and put the phone on speaker, placing it on the sink. It's a struggle, but I manage to haul her out and lay her on the floor. My muscles burn with the effort. Sweat oozes out of my every pore. Down on my knees, I've just completed a round of CPR when someone answers. 911, what's your emergency? My sister, she's not breathing. The rest of the call is a blur as I answer the dispatcher's questions while trying to resuscitate her. I'm losing hope and my nerve. My little sis isn't responding. The dispatcher assures me they're sending help right away. She instructs me to continue the CPR, so I keep going, knowing deep inside that it's a lost cause. But I can't afford to lose her. I must keep trying. I must not give up. Daniel. She's cheating on me. I'm sure of it. Learning this brutal truth about my wife of 20 years is like a punch in the gut, a blow to the head, a kick in the groin, all at the same time. I'm hurting. The wound runs deep, as you would expect when your partner drives a knife through your heart and betrays you. This was supposed to be a joyous day, another celebration of my career as an author, but I feel no joy. Instead, I'm dead inside. It's ironic because it's as if Heather and I have become a dysfunctional couple from one of my novels. I'm not one of those husbands who's always suspicious of his wife, wondering whether she's seeing anyone behind my back. Until now, she had my complete trust. I never tried to snoop on her emails or her phone, never followed her around town or hired a PI to dig up dirt on her. It's just pure chance that I found out about the affair. On my way to an errand yesterday afternoon, something compelled me to deviate from the usual route and drive down First Street. It's a shabby part of town, even without any of the homeless encampments that dot the other parts of San Jose. I tend to avoid it, preferring to travel through more pleasant parts of the city. Sleepy Time Motel is one of the dumpy establishments that line this section of the street, with an uncovered parking lot and rooms that open onto the lot. Stopped at a light adjacent to the motel, and with nothing better to do, I was surveying the property when Heather exited a room. I blinked thrice, convinced that my eyes were misleading me. But no, she was still there, as real as the sun blazing overhead. I couldn't fathom why she was at a motel, especially a flea bag like this one, considering that we can afford much better. Her tousled hair and furtive glances indicated she'd been a naughty girl. Thankfully, it didn't seem like she had spotted me. The sighting threw my insides into tumult, my mind flitting through all the men in our circle, trying to figure out who was the Brutus to my Caesar. Friends, acquaintances, other dads, but none of them seemed like candidates. It made me wonder, though, what kind of scoundrel would make the candidate list? Perhaps it was an old flame, someone I didn't know, a college sweetheart, or a high school crush that she had reconnected with. My stomach churned at the thought. More questions followed. How long had this deception been going on? Was it a fling or something more serious? I envisioned worst-case scenarios. What if she wanted a divorce? My heart ached for my children. Jonas might withstand the tsunami, but Joyce, that sensitive soul? At 15, she's smack in the middle of her turbulent teenage years. She might buckle under. I continued down the rat hole of misery, finally ending at the most important question. Why? Why was she doing this? My mind came up blank. I was so agitated that I couldn't sleep last night, tossing and turning, debating whether I was a wimp for not confronting Heather, for striving to avoid conflict. She, on the other hand, slept like a baby, like she does every night. Had she lost her conscience? But I'm a professional, and as much as I want to scamper home, down a bottle of Macallan, draw the curtains and curl up in bed, I suppressed my emotions for now. I think it's Macallan. But I'm a professional, and as much as I want to scamper home, down a bottle of Macallan, draw the curtains and curl up in bed, I've suppressed my emotions for now. I'm in my car in the Plentiful Books parking lot. The book signing starts at 1 p.m. There's still plenty of time. And there you go. That is it. It is a short one this evening. It is. But, tell you what, maybe what we'll do is see if there's one here that... No, I'm not going to do that because... Oh, ad break is about to start in 3 seconds, so we're going to vamp for a little bit until that's over with. Probably what I'll do, as we take a sip of our beverage here, thank you for joining me if you have this evening. Probably what we'll do is, in the future, like when we have really short ones, we'll maybe narrate some short stories. Coming up actually here next month in February, it's going to be really cool because we're going to have poetry to read. I'm not super versed in poetry. I read a little bit, but haven't really studied it. Like any studying of poetry that I've done, probably like a lot of you, has only been done in like school, like in my English classes and stuff like that. So my knowledge of a lot of different poetry, pretty limited. So I'm actually kind of excited to jump into it this month and dive into some poetry that's been written by maybe some of you folks. There's a thing going around on a Discord, and I can't remember what the name of it is for the life of me. I'll look when I get back to the desk so I can give you guys the name, but it's a whole bunch of authors that get together and they want to write some poetry and put some stuff in there and have streamers come in and read it out loud. The brave poet souls that have volunteered for that. That'll be exciting. I think that'll be fun. We'll read some poetry and I think it'll be awesome. And that may be something that I want to bring kind of, I don't know, maybe to the stream on a regular basis. Maybe we'll do like a little bit of poetry here and there. Or maybe during these ad breaks would be a good time to read a little bit of poetry, right? We'll pick a poem that's kind of fitting for that 3 to 5 minute mark and go through some poetry. Why not, right? Get you some education and some experience reading that poetry. It's an idea as I rack my brain about what to do during these ad breaks. And those of you on YouTube, since you don't see the ads, what do I do with you? What do I do with my hands? Ricky Bobby. So anyways, maybe some of that will hit it be featured on the show here. So let's I think we're back, I believe, from the ad break. I think. Either way, let's head back to the desk. Let's talk a little bit. Maybe we'll wrap it up. And then we'll pass it on to somebody else. We'll go read someone else this evening that's in that reading and writing category. Or maybe we'll read some more stuff. I don't know. Haven't decided. We'll see what I'm inspired to do in the moment when I get back to the desk. See you there. Grab your beverage. See you there. Knock everything over. All right. We're back. Hopefully you all are enjoying your evenings, and hopefully you enjoyed that first part of that chapter. It ends for me so abruptly because I want more. Not that it ends abruptly. It's appropriate for, how it's written, but I just want to read more, right? But that's good. That's good. That's probably what it should do, right? Keep you going into the next chapter. That means written well, right? This is a good one. So hopefully you enjoyed that one. Again, links are here in the chat. I'll make sure to link that again on our YouTube and Twitch here, so that you can go ahead and partake and purchase in that one if you want to read more, learn more about the story. What's going to happen to Daniel? Was Daniel the same person that was in? I don't know. I assume, but I don't know. We'll see. Next stream. So, okay. Couple things. One, I think I'm going to start doing a little bit more voice acty type stuff on the stream. Actually, I think it's, what is today? Wednesday. I think that's tomorrow, actually, if I remember right. Let me look it up because I don't want to bork this up. I'm pretty sure it is tomorrow, though. Yes, it is tomorrow. Last lesson from my audiobook coach. So I decided to pick up last year in January an audiobook coach to really show me all the things that I needed to know, right? Some of it, like I've been narrating stuff, mostly short stories, and doing podcasts and things like that in front of a mic. Had a production company at one point, so I'm familiar with that end of it. But I've been doing audio related stuff, voice acting stuff, audio dramas since about 2015. But this last year, I really wanted to take audiobooks specifically to the next level. The very first audiobook I did, which is probably a similar story with everyone, right? It was rough. I almost want to apologize to those guys, right? Like, but everybody's got to start somewhere. And the amount of just pure, raw golden nuggets of information that I learned from Sean Pratt, I can't express how good that coursework is. And it's a meeting every month, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but the material sometimes can be pretty heavy. You know, you balance that with your day job, and then, you know, you pick up an audiobook, and now you got that too. It can get pretty intense in terms of that. And it's not like all of the homework assignments are easy. Some of them require quite a bit, right? Especially when you're not used to it and you're trying to learn this stuff and apply it. Like it takes a while to get it down. Like I remember going through a couple of homework assignments where, you know, whatever the focus may be, specifically the one where we're trying to go over the top with emotions and the things that are inside of this text. And that was really hard for me, especially at first, like, because you have this tendency to want to hold back and deliver what the piece needs and not go overboard with it, right? It's like a natural tendency. You don't want to go over the top, but that wasn't the point. The point was to go over the top. And actually I had to do that assignment twice because I didn't deliver what he wanted, right? Go over the top. I told you what I like. I need you to go over the top with this emotion. Really, really drive it home, ramp it up. And what you learn is, here's, you know, me giving close to 100% of whatever that emotion is. Now I know what the max is. Now, how do I bring that down? Right? And tailor it down and really be able to fluctuate within that emotion or whatever that is for that passage, right? I remember that one specifically because I had to do it again. But recording that one the first time, I think it took me, 4 hours to record that darn thing. And it's like maybe a 20-minute recording. And then the second time, it probably took me another good 2 hours just to get through it and really like drive the point home to myself. So what I'm saying is, it's not easy coursework just because there's a meeting once a month. And what I like is, if you're thinking about getting coaching for audiobooks, and he specializes specifically in nonfiction, which I really want to get into. I enjoy fiction. And I'll read pretty much anything. You pay me enough, right? Especially right now as I'm building my portfolio up, professional portfolio. But nonfiction, I love that genre. And I'd listened to some stuff by Sean Pratt before. And he was recommended, and I didn't really even realize at the time who he was. Kind of, he was highly recommended. Like, hey, you want to get into nonfiction? This guy. Oh, okay. Go to the narrator's roadmap, look through all the coaches, you know, take your pick, research them, which I did. But I was like, oh no, I didn't really realize until kind of after I started. I've listened to Sean Pratt, like, with quite a few things. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Proof's in the pudding there. I've listened to him and he's fantastic. So I enjoy the coursework, and the coursework is cool. Like, we go over like technical stuff, right? How to, you know, what's your audience? Who are you speaking to? All that kind of thing. What's your triangle? All that kind of stuff. But we also go into, how do you get work for yourself? How do you handle the business side of being a narrator? That's important too. So that aspect is definitely not skipped out on. That is a chunk every time of your homework. Like, hey, we're going to develop your promotional materials. We're going to make demos for you. We're going to, you know, go through and set up all of your, you know, welcome packet information that you hand an author. Like, hey, here's what the process is. Here's what you can expect. Here's what I'll need from you. Here's what you can expect from me. All those kinds of things we built in this coursework. And I'm graduating tomorrow, hopefully. I'm pretty sure I will, but we'll see. You know, he could be like, well, you almost made it, but yeah, you need like 4 more lessons, man. You need to, you know, I don't think so, but I should be graduating from it tomorrow. And then from there, I think I kind of want to touch up on a lot of different individual acting skills. And the way that I practice those right now is audio drama work. So long story to kind of get to, I want to start bringing more voice acting stuff to the channel, I think. bring a lot of that stuff in. I really want to do a deep dive into different techniques and things. Like I know I've talked about on the past, at least on the YouTube side of this, exploring techniques like Laban and really diving in and getting everything we can out of that in terms of character work with it and how we can kind of use that. But there's other principles out there too. There's some that I don't even know about yet. I've looked at other coaches out there, like, what is his name? Joel, he's on the audiobooks at sea thing. Frumkin? I think it's Frumkin. I could be wrong, so I'm looking up his name right now because I don't want to get it wrong. You like my song? Frumkin! I was right. So I want to, I want to look into that one. There's some voice actors that I know that have taken Frumkin's course. I want to pick their brain a little bit and see if it's kind of something that I want to do as well, because I don't have like a theater degree. I didn't grow up doing theater. Like I took drama classes when I was in high school and did a couple of plays, but didn't really dive deep into methods of different things, and some of the vernacular does fly right past me. So maybe that's something I want to do, like, because they teach Frumkin teaches a course on, bringing all that kind of acting stuff into specifically audiobook narration work, and kind of bridges that gap for you. So it sounds like, on the surface at least, maybe something that I want to get into. I think I'll have the opportunity to hopefully sit through some of Frumkin's courses. Maybe we'll see on the audiobooks at sea thing, which is, you take a cruise around the Mediterranean, and then during, your time that you're not doing the activities and stuff, you're doing workshop stuff with small groups. And I think that'll be cool too. So I'll tell you all about it when I get back. Don't worry. I'm just kind of getting excited about it because I keep like seeing things posted. So it's like on the top of my mind right now. But anyways, I want to bring more voice acty stuff to it. Maybe I'll bring some more of my anecdotes about different trainings and things. So anyways, more stuff to come to the channel, more voice acty stuff, more audio drama stuff, hopefully. And I can't say anything about it because of an NDA. So I'm not going to say anything about it. Trying to think about what, I'm just not going to say anything. Hopefully by next stream I can tell you. Really cool news. I'll cliffhang you on that. Sorry, that was really vague and weird. But I'll fill you in hopefully next stream. I have to wait for certain things to happen. So you know how it is. You got to wait till certain things are met so you can talk. So anyways, hopefully more of that to come as well. But I'm thinking about also brushing up and keeping the acting juices going and improv and things like that. I know I've mentioned a couple times maybe doing some GTA kind of live stream stuff on here where we play GTA, develop a character, one that maybe I have going, or maybe we create a brand new one and we jump in and we start playing, and that'd be kind of fun. Because I have some experience on a couple of different servers at this point, kind of testing the waters off stream to see if I want to stream it kind of deal. I've streamed it a couple of times in the past, and it's like, I could see it going one way or another. So more info on that. I think I'm also, now that I've kind of, I think, figured out all the little bugs with it, I'm going to be doing more live streaming of me actually narrating like my audiobooks. One, because it's kind of a cool motivational thing, like, hey, join me while I do this. And two, I can get some work done at the same time, and it's, you can see the process. You listen to an audiobook and it's perfect, right? There's a lot of work that goes into that, and I think that's kind of misunderstood too, a little bit, in that you hear this audiobook, and let's say you listen to an hour of narration. It didn't take just an hour of narrating to produce that hour. It took about 4 hours to produce that 1 hour finish that you hear. Why? Break it down a little bit. You narrate it. Okay, so there's the time to read it. Let's say you read it perfectly. There's no mistakes. You didn't have to go back, punch in, and re-record over it, right? So you did it flawlessly for an hour, which is damn near impossible. There's probably some out there that can do it. Not me. So let's say it takes an hour for benefit of the doubt. Okay, now you have to edit that. So if you're editing it yourself, which a lot of people do, like I was doing, you have to at least, if you think about it, you're listening to the whole thing to see if there's any mistakes or any space you need to clean up or any noises that you didn't hear while you were recording. So you got to listen to the whole thing at least once. So that would be at least an hour, right? And it's probably not going to be perfect. So every time you have to stop, that adds on to that time. It's probably going to take you about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending, right? Efficiency rates, how fast you are editing, and the more experience, the quicker you'll get, right? So let's say everything's perfect. You don't have to edit anything. That's at least an extra hour. So you're at 2 hours for that one now. And then you have to go back through and master the thing. So that's going to take you a little bit of time, probably at least a half an hour, right? To master all of those little nuances and get it to fit within the parameters of wherever you're uploading to. So like Audible has a certain criteria now that you must meet, where it has to be at a certain level consistently, right? So between, 23 dB and 18 dB, I think, negative 18, negative 23, within that range, so that when you're listening to an audiobook, it doesn't get too quiet and too loud. Like its kind of average rate is right in the middle, so you're not having to turn up, turn down, and leading to a poor experience, which is something that I think they figured out over time with some of the, you can find older audiobooks that are like, oof, where that wasn't a criteria, you can tell, and they're harder to listen to, right? Also, your background noise has to be really low, negative 60 dB of noise floor, which is pretty low. It's not astronomically low, but that's pretty low. Things like that. So you're going through and mastering and making sure that your file format and everything is fitting within that. So you're looking at least another half hour, 45 minutes to do that. So right there, perfect. You're at like 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 45 minutes for 1 hour. And that would be almost impossible. So it's definitely going to take you longer. And I think narrating and being able to show kind of how that works in real time might give a deeper appreciation to that audiobook you're listening to, right? And if you're thinking about jumping into it, give you exposure to that, reality of this is actually what it is. This is what it's like. So anyways, food for thought, and maybe some more things coming up, like some co-working streams maybe where we're just sitting down and editing things and, working on stuff, right? Because that's important too. That's the other side of it, is maintaining the business side, right? So anyways, things to come. If you guys have ideas or things that you want to see, you let me know. One more time before we go, because I don't want to forget while I take a drink, peruse that information there in that chat. What is that information? That information is about the author and about the book. More importantly, if you like tonight's read, where you can go to buy it to finish the rest of the story for yourself. I really enjoyed it, and I'll probably, don't tell anyone, I'll probably be picking up my own copy of it because it's really good. I want to figure out what happens at the end. That's one of the downsides, I guess. It's like every one of these that I read, I want to read more, figure out what happened. It's like my wife goes to sleep at the end of the night, and she likes to put on a movie that she's seen 1,000,000 times because she'll just fall asleep to it, right? She's already seen it, doesn't have to watch it. I'm the opposite. Even though I've seen that movie 8 billion times, I want to keep watching it to see what happens. Even though I know what happens, I can't shut my brain off because I want to know what happens next, even though I know what happens next. So I've seen that Robin Hood movie with Kevin Costner about 8 billion times, worn out the VHS. Yes, I'm that old. The DVD. Yes, we watched it that many times. And it's streaming. So now, we won't wear that out, I guess. Jurassic Park, that's a good one. The Harry Potter movies, all of them. We've watched them several times or I have. Basically wait till I hear, all right, that sounds like she's in deep sleep. Then I turn off the TV. Sometimes I can fall asleep to it. But anyways, you don't care. Buy the book. That's the whole thing. If you liked it, buy the book. I will see you guys at least. The latest you will see me is probably next week, and it probably will be next week, next Wednesday. And next Wednesday's show is going to be fantastic too. It's going to be a longer read. Going to be a longer chapter to kind of go through, but that doesn't mean anything about quality. It is fantastic. I've been reading it here already because I couldn't wait to read it. And I should have been doing other things, but I was reading that because it was good and I wanted to keep going. So anyways, that one's going to be really good. Please tune in next week on Wednesday if you're seeing this after the fact on the VOD or on the YouTubes. It's going to be good. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to be posting the crap out of it so that you guys know all about it, so that y'all know about it. It's going to be good. So anyways, I think we'll cut it here. Let's find someone to go ahead and pass all of us that are in here, which I think it might just be me tonight. It was a pretty quiet night, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's pass you over to, I think Neff is still... Neff is hiding for some reason, but let's bring you over to Neff. How about that? I enjoy Neff's stream. So let's go ahead and raid if I can figure out that. I will see you all over there. Enjoy your night. I'm gonna finish off my beverage here as a nightcap. Go over to Neff's stream and say hello, and then take care of some after stream stuff. And I will see you all next Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat channel here on 4, 5, 6. Right? Tell your friends. Tell your friends about me. All right? I'll see y'all next time. Alrighty. See y'all over there.
Presence of a shard blade.
That's what we're going into. Can you hear him?
Redacted.
All right.
I can't tell
see y'all there.
See you next week. I'm talking about, because unless you have read all of both eras of Mistborn and finished all 5 books of Stormlight, it'll be... Clearly, you don't realize you're in a library.